Happy Monday! Welcome to Scalzo and Ross, presented by Michelob Ultra. As the Milwaukee Bucks get ready for Game 4 tonight in Miami, down 2-1 after a disappointing Saturday night loss in Miami. Of course, Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks. Ben Bruss, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio running the show. You, the Scalzo and Bruss family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We're going to keep the phone lines open the entire show today. Not a single segment where we close the phone lines because we want to hear from you, the Scalzo and Bruss family, because finally, the news we've all been waiting for finally is here. Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing in Game 4 tonight. Let's go, Giannis!
I mean, it is a pivotal game, down 2-1 on the road.
Down 2-1 on the road. Giannis going to be making his return. Obviously, if they lose this one, it's 3-1. And then all of a sudden, you got to win out. You don't want to put yourself in that position if you are the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, the Brewers got a home game tonight as well. All right. The Aaron Rodgers trade happened. It's here. And I hate to say it, but it's so anticlimactic, I'm a little disappointed in it.
What do you mean by that? Did you want it closer to the draft?
I don't understand what's happening right now. Like, tell me what the heck is happening right now that we end up waiting 40 days from hearing that the intention from Aaron Rodgers was to play with the Jets, and until we get to a point where we understand what the trade actually is.
So it's funny. Josh DiMaggio and I had a conversation earlier, and I think, Joshy, correct me if I'm wrong, it ties into a little bit of what we were saying. It was like, what's better for the Packers and the Jets if this gets done closer to the draft or now? And I was saying now because you want to know what you're heading into. The last thing that you want to do is if you're heading into Friday after Thursday's 13th and 15th picks is be like, all right, let's figure this deal out and then fire drill. We got all these second-round picks that, we got to pick now. I think by getting it done now, the approach that you have for both teams heading into the draft is a little bit more clear. The vision is more clear with I know we haven't given the details yet, and I'll let you do that, but with the pick swap in the first round, the Packers and Jets did, the Jets still now have a first-round pick. How do they use that?
So the Jets receive Aaron Rodgers. They get the 15th pick, a 2023 fifth-round pick, and the Packers in return get that 13th pick, so basically a pick swap on their first-round picks this year. The number 42 overall pick in the draft goes to the Packers, so that second-round pick, the many expected to go back to Green Bay. A sixth-round pick in the 2023 draft, and a conditional 2024 pick that is a second-round pick that becomes a first-round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of the play. So, provided Aaron Rodgers stays healthy in 2023, the Packers in return will get a pick swap, a 2023 second-round pick, and a 2024 first-round pick. So, pretty much exactly what everybody expected. Sure, there's a swap as well, where the fifth-round pick for a sixth-round pick, and actually those two swaps probably don't even out because moving up 2 picks in the first round, I think, is better than moving up 40 or 37 picks between the fifth and the sixth round. But overall, the main pieces of this is you get a 2 in 2023 and a 1 in 2024, provided Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Is it enough? Is it enough for the 4-time MVP, 2 MVPs in the last 3 years, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, in Aaron Rodgers? That's what we want to know from you, the Scalzo and Bruss family.
It feels like enough if I'm Goot, right? And to me, we've talked about how the success of Aaron Rodgers on the Jets will ultimately come back to how successful this trade was for Goody. Now, he has an opportunity, right? If Jordan Love is good, it obviously that's going to help his cause as well. But that's
the only thing that matters.
That's an unknown. But now he's got 13, 42, and 45 along with that. So if he's got this window of Mark Murphy's 2 years as the president before he retires, and he has Jordan Love as quarterback, and has 3 picks in the first 45. 3 picks in the first 45 of this draft. That's back-to-back drafts with 3 picks. 2 in the first round of Christian Watson last year, and now 3 in the first 45 here. So the last 2 years plus Jordan Love, with only 3 players left on this roster that Ted Thompson was involved with. I mean, this is Goody's team now. This is Jordan Love and Goody's team. So what we see the next 2 years is his job or not.
Yeah, but yes. I mean, to me, I think you're making it bigger than that. This is all about how good Jordan Love is. Like, and I get that we want to bring other aspects into the conversation. This is a win if Jordan Love is great, and it's a loss if Jordan Love isn't great. Like, that's the entire thing. I think that we all got caught up, and a lot of debate between the Packers fans and Jets fans and the arguing and the reporting, and now every reporter in the world's going to take a victory lap because at one point they all said everything, and now they're like, hey, remember I said this?
The leverage off. The Packers had it more.
Yeah, I guess, but it kind of arrives right at where everyone expected it to be, in this sense that people thought, oh, the Packers should get 3 first-round picks. Well, they got a conditional first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy throughout this year. But I think that we have to remember a year ago, this Packers team had Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams coming off of an MVP year and coming off of 39 wins within 3 seasons. You have one down, and then from that point to this year, now you're going at it with Jordan Love and Christian Watson, and sure, you have Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt, and you get 13, 42, and 45 this year, but they're going to have to make some moves quick. Like, they're going to have to get good quick because this is not a full-on rebuild. This is a plug-and-play. How good is Jordan Love going to be in year 1? How good is he going to be in year 2? And if he's great, then this is going to look awesome. And if he's not, then this is going to look horrible for Goody and for the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, they still have Aaron Jones, one of the most versatile running backs in the NFL. They still have A.J. Dillon, and they still have a pretty good offensive line. And so, like you said, like, how are they going to be able to fill out the rest of the offensive roster? And a lot of people are going to look to the draft picks and say, well, here comes a tight end, here comes a wide receiver, and it'll be interesting to see how they use those. But I'll say it. Who says Goody doesn't use some of this capital to potentially take a quarterback and make his longevity of his career even longer and not just tying it to Jordan Love? Because who's the backup right now? Nobody. I mean, it's essentially nobody. It's what's his name? Danny Etling or whatever. Exactly. Can't even say his name. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just throwing it out there. I would not be shocked if somehow the Packers do something a little bit out of the ordinary from what everyone's expecting them to do.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776, the number to get into the show. Is it enough when you talk about a 2 and a conditional first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers? When you boil it down, yes, there was a pick swap. Let's give a round of applause to Tausche. Nobody more right than Mark Tauscher in this entire thing.
What's that, Josh?
What's wrong, Joshy?
I'm just not looking forward to him bragging for the next month about it.
Loves this pick swap.
Oh, gosh.
Loves this pick
It's
swap.
unbelievable.
Oh, he already tweeted a win-win for everybody?
I think it's a win-win. I think the Packers were very lucky that the Jets are the Jets and that Woody Johnson clearly was not willing to play chicken any longer. And I understand it from the Jets standpoint, too. In the same way that for the Packers, it's silly to squabble over these picks. The Jets aren't going to win or lose a Super Bowl based on a 2024 draft pick. Whether it's a first or a second or a third, they're not gonna win or lose there. Just like the Packers aren't. Like, it's going to come down to how great Aaron Rodgers is with this iteration of the Jets and how great Jordan Love is in his career. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, will be wearing number 8 for the New York Jets, despite the fact that Joe Namath offered him number 12. But ultimately, he is going to wear number 8 as a guy who respects history. He wore number 8 in college at Cal there as well. The other report from Shefty is that Rodgers ultimately with the Jets expected to be in up to 6 primetime games. Up to 6 primetime games for the New York Jets and the biggest star in the NFL, whether you want to admit it or not, Aaron Rodgers.
That's half of the 65% that it's going to take to get the Packers a conditional first.
There you go. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Let's go to Lewis on the north side. Lewis, welcome to Scalzo and Bruss. Did the Packers get enough with a second-round pick and a conditional 2024 draft pick that could turn into a first, plus the famous Tausche pick swap?
No. Bottom line is, if we didn't get number 13 pick in this year's draft, the Packers got hosed. So we got hosed. You got to understand, I don't know what's going on with this general manager, but like I've called this station before. I cannot be this bad at my job and keep it. We had the 2-time MVP, and we got, hey, give me the number 100 pick, and I'll take the number 47 pick. You're talking about one of the best quarterbacks ever. The Jets. So you said, didn't you just say they got a whole bunch of primetime games?
Jets will have up to 6 primetime games this year, correct?
And I guarantee you the Packers will play at noon on Sunday at least 9 times next year.
Ooh, Mark Murphy's biggest fear.
Nobody wants to see this team. We went from potentially last year when the schedule started to me and my brother saying, man, we might can make the Super Bowl. You know what this year we're going to do? How many games are we going to lose?
You tell us 17 games. What do you got them?
We might, out of 17, we might win 4.
Wow.
Maybe
Thank you
4
for the call.
Josh
with the quick
What's going
hook.
on there?
He's on for 90 seconds.
All right, that's quick 90.
Anytime there's a long
That's
pause.
what she said. You
Come
missed
on,
it right
come
there,
on.
Joshy.
Joshy's all intense, baby.
I know. He's got a lot going on back there. You got line one going. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. When you set him up
90
perfectly
seconds.
for that one. Perfectly.
Remember
for
when
that.
90 Seconds with Ben Brust used to be a segment?
Was it?
Remember I used to interview people for 90 seconds? It was horrible.
I genuinely don't remember that.
That's how good it was.
It must have been that bad. Let's compare this to last year's pick, right? Last year's big trade that happened. If you go back to last offseason, the Seahawks ended up trading Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick for Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, and 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick. So ultimately, if you were to add those players up to what many would assume to be a first-round value, you're talking about 3 firsts, 2 seconds for Russell Wilson.
And to be fair, for a little context, a guy in which you're probably going to have for a much longer time than Aaron Rodgers, despite how poorly Russell Wilson played, that played a factor into the compensation, in which a lot of criticism from Packer fans was, well, if this is going to happen now, why didn't we trade Rodgers when the value was higher, when we could have got the Russell Wilson haul? But when you look at this haul for knowing that Aaron Rodgers is going to take the Jets likely through the offseason scenario in which he's going to contemplate retirement and maybe not be able to commit beyond this year, I think the Packers did pretty well. I understand everyone's going to want more, and he was a 2-time MVP, but you have to take in the context of where Aaron Rodgers is at in age and when he's talked about the word retirement for 3 years.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Let's go to Chris in Brookfield. Chris, welcome to Scalzo and Bruss. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
I'm so happy he's gone. I'll take what they gave us, and I'm tired of all this MVP talk. Who cares? What did it do for us in the playoffs? You decided to throw 3 crap passes to DA when he had Lazard and Tanyan open on 2nd and 3rd down. Decided to throw an underthrown ball against the San Francisco game when he needed 5 yards for a first down to tie the game with a field goal. And he underthrows it to DA for interception to end the game. And without DA, he doesn't get the last 2 MVPs. His decision-making is poor. He's the ball terrible the last couple of years, not just last year, but the last several years. I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad the prima donna went to the Jets. Let the Jets have him. And I'll guarantee you the Jets still aren't going to make the playoffs because he doesn't know how to make a first down. He'll throw the ball 30 yards downfield instead of throwing the 70 yards that he needs to get the first down like Brady was. I'm glad he's gone.
Thank you, Chris in
Thanks for the
Brookfield. I am in awe at how happy people are that Aaron Rodgers is traded for a second-round pick and a conditional 2 that can turn into a 1. Like, we're talking about a guy last year who would have commanded 3 first-round picks like that. We're talking about a team that a year ago had Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams coming off of all-pro years as the best quarterback and best wide receiver, having just won 13 games, 3 straight seasons, and secured the number 1 seed in the NFC in back-to-back years. We're talking about a team in Titletown that anticipates winning a championship and having championship expectations. And here we are, on the precipice of them literally saying, you know what, we're hitting the reset button, we're flushing the toilet, we got rid of Devontae Adams, we got rid of Aaron Rodgers, and now you're looking down the barrel at what could be a 500 year as a success. And again, the trade to me, you can't declare a win until you know what Jordan Love is. And I think that he's going to have all the right things not on the field. I have no idea what he's going to do on the field. I'm rooting for him. I hope he's great. But anything short of great, people are going to look back at this trade in history and be like, what the heck were they doing?
Was that Christopher in Brookfield?
Christoph?
Christoph was talking about how, happy he is. And you could hear the jubilation in his voice. The thing that I continue to go back to is, okay, you're upset about how this playoff run's ended. What happens when the Packers don't make the playoffs 3 straight years? It's a possibility. Like these were scenarios that weren't possibilities unless Aaron Rodgers got hurt, right? Or is the end of the Mike McCarthy era. If the Packers don't make the playoffs the next 3 years, is he echoing the same sentiment of, oh, he can't throw, he stinks, I don't care about MVPs, this, that, and the other thing? Again, be careful what you wish for. I'm okay. Like, if somebody wants to call and say, look, I'm happy we moved on from Aaron Rodgers because that's the direction that we've been given as Packer fans, that's the way Goody is going to move us forward. But by simply just saying, I'm happy he's gone because he stinks, like, what are we doing here? Like, it's not that easy without a good quarterback. And I want Jordan Love to be good, but part of me is just like, we don't know yet.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Is it enough? The Packers get a pick swap in the first round. They move up 2 picks. They get a second-round pick, number 42 overall in this year's draft, and a second-round pick in next year's draft that could turn into a 1 if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. Is it enough? 800-990-ESPN. If you're on the line, stay right there. We'll get to you next. If you're not, give us a call. It is Scalzo and Russ, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Breaking Packers news on 94.5 ESPN. Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets. For all the latest on Aaron Rodgers, keep it locked right here. 94.5 ESPN.
Some backup still left over along southbound 41, slowing down from Wisconsin Avenue all the way down past Lincoln Avenue, where we have that construction going on. So heads up with that. We've got southbound 43 also backing up a bit as you're making your way down past Silver Spring and then a little bit into the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Right now, 43 southbound Brown Deer Road into downtown. It's going to be about a 15-minute ride, so you're looking at an extra 4 minutes there. Otherwise, for the most part, everything else is looking pretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, scattered rain or snow showers, a low of 36. Tomorrow, chance of rain and snow showers mainly early. Minor accumulation is possible with a high of 44. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Gary Olson here from Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape from the office? Or maybe you want to impress a potential client? Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center offers a top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play courses like St. Andrews, Whistling Straits, and more. Even when it's not perfect golf weather outdoors, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's simulators, entertainment, and their best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer. At just $35 an hour for a bay, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is the perfect weekday getaway. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
The workplace has changed a lot thanks to technology, and more recently, the shift to a flexible or remote schedule. Your business must adapt to maintain a great culture, attracting quality candidates and keeping them. You need Smart Spaces. The team of interior integrators at Smart Spaces brings creativity and expertise, assessing the walls, ceiling, lighting, flooring, furniture, and audiovisual systems to create places that matter in the modern world, fully functional for those in the building and for others to interact remotely. Get started today at smartspaceswi.com.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's a new era for the green and gold.
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
And we're hitting the ground running on night one of the draft. Join us as we broadcast live from Q Club of Wisconsin on Thursday night starting at 6. Homer Tausch, Jason Wilde, Ben Brust, and the full Jen, Gabe, and Chewy crew will be reacting to the picks and talking about the future in Green Bay. Draft night on 94.5 ESPN, live from Q Club of Wisconsin in Waukesha.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
Homer, Tony, living in perfect harmony. Yeah, right.
The most important thing by far is that Chris Middleton is able to play at 100%.
He looks good enough that I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Opposite of what Jordan Love is.
I got some stuff to do.
Jordan Love doesn't look good enough for me not to worry.
It starts with love.
You haven't even seen him play enough to know for sure.
Well, what I've seen, I'm worried.
Listen to Homer and Tony weekdays from 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN and wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra, official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I think where our team is at. Obviously, Aaron's up there in age and has I don't know however many years he has. I think he's got some really good football left in him. But I think for us, it was just as we got through the offseason and started talking about where we wanted to go. This made a little bit of sense for us. We wanted to get his input, like I've told you guys in the past, and would have loved to have that and kind of see where he sat with that. That didn't happen. That was a little bit unfortunate and disappointing for me. But at the same time, I just think as we move forward. We're really excited where Jordan can go. He needs to play.
That is Packers General Manager Brian Gutekunst talking about the trade that just occurred between the Packers and New York Jets. That's right, it finally happened. Not only is Giannis going to be playing tonight in Game 4, barring any setback, as we have Bucks Heat. You okay back there, Joshy?
Yeah, the system's just not working like it should.
Come on, system. Get it together, system. It's a big day right now. Packers end up trading Aaron Rodgers for a pick swap in the first round. So they get the Jets 13. The Jets get their 15. The number 42 overall pick in 2023, as well as a conditional pick that starts as a second in 2024 and could go to a first if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. So we want to know from you, 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. What do you think? Is it enough? How did the Packers do? We'll start with Ron in the key. Ron, welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
First of all, Gregory, pat on the back to you for acknowledging that I was right, that the owner was going to hurt the Jets in this negotiation because it was going to lead to impatience.
Oh, definitely.
And then as far as, did they get enough? Like once you were in the 2009 housing market bubble, then you had to negotiate for whatever the best price you could get for your house was at that time. It's easy to go, well, if I would have sold in 2007, I could have gotten this. Yes, in hindsight, they should have traded him last year. You couldn't do anything about hindsight after this season. So then that in mind, yeah, they got good value for him.
All right, the pragmatist as we know him. Thank you, Ron and the Key.
I mean, I think it's okay to criticize a front office whose job it is to look ahead and see where the franchise wants to go and is going to go, and it's okay to criticize that he missed that window. but also have the perspective of, okay, he got what he got now. But I think you could be critical of like, hey, we got this. We could have gotten this for Aaron Rodgers when we really weren't all in. I just think it's funny the way that Goody in his press conference says, we didn't get his input. I was disappointed in that. Like, just like I kind of love it. If I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want Goody to hold a grudge. Like he's representing that G. He knows his paychecks got that G on it, and he is repping that G. And as Aaron Rodgers' #1 supporter, you may not like that.
No. Look, I understand it. I think it comes from a place of his own failure. Like, you have to have a vision for your franchise, and I think if you knew what you wanted to do, but you weren't willing to do it yourself, and you were sitting there and hoping that Aaron Rodgers was going to retire.
The
damn system. And you were sitting there hoping Aaron Rodgers was going to retire, and then you end up putting your franchise in this position at this point in the offseason. Like, yeah, you're going to go back in time and blame it on, well, I was waiting for Aaron's input, where it's like, dude, you knew you wanted to move on. You just were too chicken, you know what, to actually do it yourself. And you wanted to win everything. You wanted to win this PR battle that they ultimately have won, because people are saying, oh, I'm so excited. We finally got rid of the greatest quarterback
That's all they had to do.
We may have ever had, because he's annoying, and apparently he didn't get back to Goody, as opposed to Goody had just started this offseason saying, you know what, it's time. We're moving on to Jordan Love. Everybody line up and let's go to the highest bidder. Let's go to Nate in Madison. Nate, welcome to Scalzo and Russ, presented by Michelob Ultra. Aaron Rodgers traded. Did the Packers get enough? How did they do?
Absolutely. This was a fair deal. I mean, let's wait a little bit. Today is the best sports day in Wisconsin since Bucks in 6. I am to the moon over having Rodgers be traded. Got good value for it. We can move on now. I mean, to Ron McKee's point, would have been great to have done it when the Russell Wilson time was there. That was clearly the plan, and they kind of second-guessed themselves.
Just real quick, Nate,
re-signed him.
How has your life gotten significantly better without Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback? Like, what is it about him that's just bothering you so much?
It's the complicated fella piece, the COVID piece. I can enjoy rooting for the Packers. I can enjoy listening to your show again, which has been hard this summer. Like, the Rodgers, I'm of an age where Brett Favre was my favorite character, my favorite player. I loved him. I took him leaving, retiring the first time real hard. And, I kind of stepped away from the Packers with a Brett Favre fan. Obviously, he's not a real great person. Some pretty nasty stuff came out there. That was hard to watch, my hero fall. And then getting to relive that with Rodgers. I was Team Rodgers going up to whatever day that was, where we found out that he was immunized and not vaccinated, but he's really off the deep end.
So let me ask you this. I know you said, knowing what we know now, who do you feel like is a worse person, Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre?
It's so hard. I currently hate Aaron more than Brett, but I think Brett's probably a worse person.
All right.
And that might be the
Thank you
for
the call.
Thank you for the call. Thank you, Nate Madison. I actually thought that was a great answer to that question.
The best sports day since Bucks in 6. Trading away an NFL Hall of Famer is this person, Nate Madison's best day since the Bucks won the World freaking Championship. That's some backwards world stuff right there.
800-990-ESPN. Let's go to Michael in Kiel. Michael, welcome to Scalzo and Russ, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
How's it going? I think we got enough, just because I'm not sure what more you can ask for at this point. But throughout this whole thing, I've never heard so many clown takes in my life. I'm going to leave this last guy alone. But a couple of guys before that, he said Rodgers makes bad decisions, as if we didn't just get used to a guy throwing 6 picks average.
He famously has the greatest touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history. Yes, continue, Michael.
Exactly. The one silver lining, if we do end up struggling, is maybe we can unload some of these bandwagon fans we picked up.
All right, so there's a silver lining there for Michael and Kiel.
I guess if the Packers aren't as good as they have been, they'll find out who's got the true green and gold bleeding in them.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Let's go to Doug in Kenosha. Doug, welcome to Scalzo and Russ, presented by the world's greatest Michelob Ultra.
Thank you. I hate to see the greatest quarterback ever leave Green Bay, but I am pretty excited to see Jordan Love because I think he is going to be okay. And I also want to start hearing about other players on the team. Rodgers obviously was all of media. Everything is Rodgers. I want to know some other guys now.
Who do you want to hear about, Doug in Kenosha?
And I don't know. I just would like to see somebody just really step up besides a wide receiver. So I don't know anybody. I want it to be more of a team oriented. I don't want it to be the Jordan Love show. I want Jordan Love to be great. I mean, the Bears won it with Jim McMahon, so.
Yeah, there's not too many of those examples, but I appreciate it, Doug in Kenosha. I understand the sentiment. I do feel like Aaron Rodgers gone now opens up a lot more attention to Josiah the Messiah DeGuara, one of the great players in all of the NFL, when you look at all the little things he does on the field to help his team.
Good values him so much, I don't think we're going to see a tight end taken at all in the draft.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Aaron Rodgers traded. Pick swap in round 1 to make Tausch happy. They also get a second in this year's draft, the 42nd overall pick. So now the Packers will have 13, 42, and 45 in the first 2 days, or first 2 rounds, of the NFL draft, plus a conditional pick that starts as a second in next year's draft. In the 2024 NFL draft, it turns into a first if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps this season for the New York Jets, which seems very likely if he stays healthy, unless he gets beat out by Zach Wilson in training camp. Who knows? Jake in Milwaukee, welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
I think it's not a bad trade, but it's not a great trade. I think it's in the middle. They got some good trade weapons, but even though Aaron Rodgers is leaving the NFC to go to the AFC, he will still be the owner of the Chicago Bears, whether they like it or not.
I like that. Still the owner of the Bears. Wonder what's going to happen in his ownership stake to the Milwaukee Bucks. My guess is he'll keep it,
He'll
right?
absolutely keep it. Again, we've heard from Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody bleeds green and gold as much as Aaron.
Nobody cares about the
no
fans.
No one can take that away.
And you can't take away the 18 years that he's been here. He's invested in the community, and as well as the city of Milwaukee with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think he's keeping it.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
too.
also,
and I'm glad we mentioned that. Like, I do think that the crapping on Rodgers is shocking, given, again, that this guy won 4 MVPs, grew up in Green Bay, went to the team, followed Favre, handled that situation as perfectly and as maturely as you possibly could. Say what you want about who he is now, and maybe you don't like the COVID stuff, but, like, you look at how he handled that as a young quarterback trying to prove himself in the league, how he won with his teammates, how he grinded through injury time after time after time for years on these radio airwaves. I heard from Packers fans, you don't know how much he's playing hurt. You don't know how hurt he is during these playoff runs, culminating in the last season where he had the easiest out of all time to sit out, and he decided to stand in the foxhole with his band of brothers and bleed green and gold on the field with them while he's playing with 4 fingers, no thumb, and broken ribs on the field. And now he goes to the Jets and he shows his class once again. He doesn't take number 12 from Joe Namath when it's offered to him. He respects that franchise. He respects greatness. He respects history, as he's done throughout his career in Green Bay, and ultimately goes ahead and says, hey, look, I'm going to take number 8 for the New York Jets. I'm going to respect Joe Namath. I'm going to respect the NFL, and that's the kind of man that Aaron Rodgers is. Let's go to Mark in New Berlin. We know what kind of man he is.
I don't know.
Oh, Josh is upset. Josh is shaking his head right now. It's too much action?
Greg, I just got told to answer a phone. We usually do a thing with Mark in New Berlin here.
Yeah, we played the intro. I would have given you time. The official, unofficial clown of the Scalzo and Brust family, the one man who believed that this move should have happened 3 years ago, before back-to-back MVPs by Aaron Rodgers. It is Mark in New Berlin.
Oh, my God.
The legendary Mark in New Berlin.
The train has left the station. Put in Jordan Love. Let's see what he can do. We know he can do a lot. I predict him to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he'll be better, but he'll win more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Mark, you're an idiot.
Well, is he?
Mark in New Berlin! Today's the day you've been waiting for, since Aaron Rodgers only had 2 MVPs. What do you got?
Oh, my God. Happy Monday. This is better than New Year's Eve. This is the best day of my life.
New Year's Eve
better than
sucks.
when I asked my wife.
New Year's Eve. This is better than New Year's Eve, Benny. Benny, this is better than that. 10 times I asked my wife to marry me, and then 11 she said yes. This is even better than that. I mean, the Ferrari's in the garage. The Ferrari's getting tuned up. Open the doors and let it out. And all these Mark and New Berlin haters, everybody's on the Mark and New Berlin train. Every call today except maybe one, no, not even one, said get rid of that choker. I would have took him for a bag of chips. Get rid of him. Thank God. Don't you guys feel better that this is off your back? Isn't this like an old pesty girlfriend just sitting on your back and you hope she finds some other guy? You pay some other guy to take her. Dan, this is how it feels today. This is great. This is just absolutely great.
Ron, what kind of breakups have you experienced in your life? What I call
you
them,
know how it is. You know how it is, Scalzo. You got the girl hanging on you. You really don't like her. She's sort of fugly. So you hope some guy just takes her. And then when she finds a guy and she breaks up with you, you act sad, but deep down you are so happy. That's how the fans of Green Bay are. We got rid of this loser, 13-year drought Super Bowl whiner. He is gone. No more. Let him stay in New York. Maybe he'll even host Saturday Night Live.
Mark in New Berlin knows something about a 13-year-old drought. Congratulations, Mark. Today's the day you've been waiting for a very long time, and many of you have been waiting for, apparently. The Packers get rid of maybe their greatest player in franchise history. He gets traded to the Jets. It actually happened. Aaron Rodgers no longer a Green Bay Packer. Did they get enough? 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We'll get to you. The Scalzo and Russ family next. We're presented by Michelob Ultra.
Breaking Packers news on 94.5 ESPN. The Packers are sending Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. Don't touch that dial. It's all Packers and Rodgers talk right here. 94.5 ESPN.
We do have some backups along southbound 43, basically in pockets from Silver Spring all the way down to about Capitol Drive. Northbound is going to be a bit backed up from Fond du Lac Avenue up past Locust. By the way, southbound also slowing down through the Marquette. Westbound 94, 35th Street through the Stadium interchange is going to be that heavy spot. And then southbound on 41 onto the southbound bypass, you're going to see delays basically from the zoo all the way down to about Lincoln Avenue. Traffic is brought to you by Evans Transportation in Brookfield, where they provide customized logistics solutions to keep you and your business moving forward. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, scattered rain and snow showers, a low of 36. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow showers, mainly early. Minor accumulation is possible with a high of 44. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, did you know that the stored belly fat reduces your free testosterone? The more the belly grows, the harder it is to drop, mostly because of the decrease in free T. It's a vicious cycle that men are losing, and unfortunately, everyone can see it. Mentality breaks that cycle with semaglutide, an industry-changing weight loss medication that can help you lose up to 15% of your body weight while preserving your testosterone. Join our over 20,000 clients to look and feel the way you deserve. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
A big anniversary diamond is one twice as big as the one on her engagement ring.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Look at all this space I have on my desk. Finally, no more clutter.
I know, right? Plus, now I can actually see everyone and talk to them whenever I want.
Would you stop trying to ask people if there are more doors or wheels in the world?
Speaking of wheels, these chairs, woo!
I've never been more comfortable at work.
Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors, the official moving and furniture provider of GKB Milwaukee. It's a Brewers game day on 94.5 ESPN. tonight, the Crew looks to tame the Tigers in interleague action at AmFam Field.
2-pitch. Telez, a drive out to right center field. Racing back is Hernandez. That ball is gone.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6:05, and stick around after the game for Brewers Extra Innings.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially during our great outdoor event. Right now, get unbeatable deals on a variety of outdoor essentials, like 36-pound bags of estate lawn or garden fertilizer, just $24.99. Robic septic tank treatment, $5.99 a quart. 22-ounce S-Wing framing hammers, $19.99. $50 off a Hobart Handler 140 MIG welder, and 24 packs of Blaine's brand AA or AAA batteries, just $7.99. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry, here to tell you about Ridgetop Exterior's most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
I think the last 5 or 6 days over the weekend and stuff that there's been a lot of conversation that helped us get to this point. But again, there's still things that need to be done. It's not finalized, but we do expect it to be done here in the next couple days.
Brian Gutekunst, the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, finally got it done as he trades maybe the greatest player in franchise history, Aaron Rodgers, to the Jets, but he gets a pick swap in return, so they move up 2 spots in the first round. He gets a second-round pick, number 42 overall this year, meaning the Packers have 13, 42, and 45 coming up on Thursday and Friday night, respectively. They also get a second-round pick next year in 2024 that will turn into a first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps for the Jets next season.
11.05 games.
If unless he gets injured.
Exactly. I just want 11.05 games. I did the math.
Why are you laughing, Josh?
I'm very, very proud of the math that I did there.
Why are you laughing, Joshy?
Ben knows how to use a calculator. And instead of just waiting until you finished your sentence.
It was like 3 seconds away from me finishing it,
I
too.
think you extended on purpose. So
You were edgy.
You knew I was ready to jump in.
Again, I'm just literally laying out what the trade is to give context as people get in their car, just are coming to the world. All they're thinking about is Game 4 tonight in Miami, which you could obviously listen to on 100.5 ESPN Madison, 620 WTMJ. Bucks down 2-1. Giannis back from injury. There's a lot going on, and then they get in their car and they're like, "Wait, Rodgers got traded? What was the trade for?"
Yeah, I could have maybe waited 3 more seconds.
That's what she said.
800-990-3776. We want to hear from you. What do you think of the trade? Is it enough? We'll start with Rick in Pewaukee. Rick, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. We are presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
Guys, I think everybody's talking about, what Jordan Love will do will determine whether this trade is good or not. I think it's as much that as it is, what does Goody get with the capital that he got for that? Is Goody going to pull a Jair Alexander situation, do you think, where if somebody really wants that 13th pick, he might parlay that into more draft choices and everything? I think we got to wait and see what happens when the dust all settles, and not even after the draft, but what happens a year or two down the road to see what he got out of it.
And thanks, Rick.
For the call, Rick.
Thank you for the call. Just a little connection.
Yeah, I get it, right? We're not going to know at all in terms of what happens here down the line, but it's also like, did the Packers win the Devontae pick?
I was
trade
just
last
going to
year?
go to that, because if we want to play this game of what does 13, 42, 45 look like,
it's not going to bode well for
if
the
we want to
Packers.
look back last year at something similar, Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, and Christian Watson.
Well, that's not even what they got, right? But
No, it's not what they got from the trade, but I'm just saying, look at 3 picks from last year that the Packers had in a very similar like top 45 and below.
Sure.
And that's what you're showing forth in terms of what you're building towards. Now, those are, again, some positions may feel different, may make a bigger impact from a splash standpoint that might make fans a little bit happier, which I have a feeling fans are going to be thirsting for a wide receiver. But just looking at 3 picks as the success, I'm with you. I'd say it's either the success of Jordan Love or the success of Aaron Rodgers. Because if Aaron Rodgers is really successful, it's also going to look really stupid even if Jordan Love's okay.
I disagree. I think if Jordan Love presents himself as the next in a line of great Packers quarterbacks, then it doesn't matter what happens with Rodgers.
Sure, but that's hard to do.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying that's like the guarantee. If Jordan Love is great, the trade is great regardless. They could have gotten a 4th-round pick because the same thing was said about Brett Favre.
And Aaron Rodgers turned out to be great.
And nobody looks back and is like, I can't believe they only got that for Brett Favre coming off of a season in which he had a renaissance year and went to the NFC Championship game.
We're on the same page. I just was more so you're making it more clear that he's got to be great.
He's got at least like a franchise quarterback in order for this to be a successful trade. Let's go to Michael in Texas. Michael, welcome to Scalzo and Bros. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
Hey, guys. I got to say I'm pretty disappointed about this whole situation. I think that the whole upper management is a complete joke. When you go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and you only get 2 championship rings out of it, I think they should have been gone a long time ago, in my opinion. It's a complete disgrace. And all these people that are celebrating that he's gone, we're not even probably going to even win 1 game this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose all 16 games this season. I think that's how bad we're going to be.
Thank you for the call. I like it, Michael from Texas. I think that's a fair amount of passion to have. Like I don't think they go 0-17 this upcoming season. However, I am shocked at how people are acting like this is the greatest thing that possibly could have happened.
We heard this is the best sports day since Bucks and 6 earlier today. I still can't get over that one.
Well, find a better day since that moment in Wisconsin sports. Can you name one? Because I can't.
Oh, come on, Joshy. Are you really saying this right now?
Has there been celebrating
a better day than trading away Aaron Rodgers?
He said since. Operative word.
Put it on the poll. Nate and Madison said.
No. We're not putting this on the poll. It's a horrible poll.
It is not a great poll.
We could ask 10 better poll questions than that. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776.
All right.
We'll go to Ron in Rome. Ron, welcome to Scalzo and Bros, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
Yeah, hi. I guess I'm not a real Packers fan because I'm glad that Aaron got traded, but I do think a lot of it's Gutekunst's fault. I think he messed things up when he drafted Love without warning Rodgers, but then there's just a lot of passive aggressiveness going on both sides. But the reason I'm glad to see Aaron go is they did try to make it up to him by giving him this big contract, which was a mistake. But what did he do? He doesn't come to practices when he had all new receivers. And then also the things nobody knows really how much over the years he hasn't listened to the coaches and how many times he opted out of calls that the coaches wanted him to do.
But Ron, why do you
NFC Championship game?
Why do you care if he opted out of coaches' calls and he ended up winning back-to-back MVPs? Like maybe the coaches' calls would have meant that the team stunk and wasn't winning as many games as they won.
I'm talking about that. We were in the NFC Championship game. Defense plays good. They give him 3 interceptions, turnovers, or if I remember if they were interceptions and fumbles, and then he just has 3 and outs and goes out, and we a couple in a row, and 2 years in a row, and then we lose.
Okay, but his coach also decided to kick a field goal at the end of a game, which was not the right call. Thank you for the call, Ron in Rome.
Yeah, maybe he decided to kick a field.
Thank you, Ron. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. The fact that everyone wants to blame Aaron Rodgers for everything and give him credit for nothing is shocking to me. And if people willing to burn down their own history, yes, this is what you fought for so many years. We were hearing, 4 years ago, that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time, better than Tom Brady. And now here it is of no credit for him getting the team to the NFC Championship game year after year, all blame because he didn't put up more than I believe he put up over 30 points
30
against
in
the
that
Tampa Bay
Bucs.
Buccaneers game, right? Because right after that game happened, what was all the conversation about? Kevin King. It was about Kevin King. It was about Kevin King getting burned by Scotty Miller at the end of the first half, and that Packer defense not doing enough for him. And then all of a sudden, you fast forward a couple years later, and everybody's blaming Aaron for everything, and nobody's giving the man credit for being the best quarterback in the NFL or close to for the last 4 seasons. I'm not even going back 15 years.
I mean, I still am fascinated how much people hold a grudge over freaking off-season programming from this past season. If I'm coming off of 2 number 1 seeds and the organization signs me to a deal and they roll out Sammy Watkins, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson,
I would have just quit.
Right? Like, why would I show up? What am I going to do? I'm aging. I know I'm aging. I'm old. Give me some guys that can play. Of course we're going to be 8-9 playing for the playoffs.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. If you're on the line, stay right there. We will get to you. If you're not, give us a call. We'll keep the phone lines open. It is Scalzo and Bruss presented by Michelob Ultra. Talking Aaron Rodgers trade.
Breaking Packers news on 94.5 ESPN. The Packers are trading their 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. For all the latest on Aaron Rodgers, keep it locked right here.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I'm back with the pride of Plover, Wisconsin, Oso Brewing Company's Mark Butera. They're cooking up something great at their brewery for the perfect food and drink combo.
Well, the best thing that we've done in the last year was open a pizzeria inside our brewery. So we've got the Oso Amore restaurant, so truly made with love. The pizza, the local people are going crazy over the pizza. It's all handmade. The crust we make with beer, no water. Well, it's made with the Big 2.0 beer, which was our gold medal winner at the Great American Beer Fest. So that's what we make the crust with. But you know what? Never forgotten. Just that light lager beer just goes with every pizza. I mean, it's just pizza and beer go so well together. It's been the single biggest thing that we've done in the last year.
Thanks again to my guy Mark for joining to tell us all about Oso's latest ventures. And remember, folks, pizza in hand or not, the fridge is always stocked.
Homer, Tony, living in perfect harmony. Yeah, right.
The most important thing by far is that Chris Middleton is able to play at 100%.
He looks good enough that I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Opposite of what Jordan Love is.
I got some stuff to do.
Jordan Love doesn't look good enough for me not to worry.
It starts with love.
You haven't even seen him play enough to know for sure.
Well, what I've seen, I'm worried.
Listen to Homer and Tony weekdays from 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN and wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Ben Bruss here for my favorite racetrack in North America, and that is Road America. Race fans, it's time to make your summer plans for fast family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Experience 9 major races from vintage weekends to high-thrill NASCAR racing at the best NASCAR track in America. Bring the entire family for more affordable fun with on-site camping, free parking, and most of all, free admission for kids 16 and younger. See the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Enjoy a world of street food fare in the largest tequila collection in town at Blue Bat Kitchen and Tequileria. Blue Bat is a destination for some of Milwaukee's best tacos, shareable appetizers, and margaritas in a fun environment right on the river in the historic 3rd Ward, serving up global flavors and good times 7 days a week. Blue Bat Kitchen will also turn your next party into a full-blown fiesta with an off-site catering taco bar. Visit Blue Bat Kitchen on Water Street or check out bluebatkitchen.com.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for 2, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 12.76 to 19-ounce package Bellatoria pizza, $5.99. 14-ounce ice cream or 3-count bars, Häagen-Dazs ice cream or ice cream bars, $3.99. 8.3 to 12-ounce package Frigo cheesehead, string cheese or cheese sticks, $3.99. 8-ounce chunk, 7 to 8-ounce sliced or 5.5 to 8-ounce shredded Tillamook chunk, sliced or shredded cheese, 2 for $6.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take the mound at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop to get your yard spring ready. Find everything you need and more from our wide selection of lawn care goods. Going on now, get 5 bags of superior colored mulch for just $10. Plus, the garden center is now open. Stop in to get your garden ready with our nursery quality plants. Look forward to green grass and a fresh garden with help from Fleet Farm, your lawn and garden headquarters. It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra, official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
I went to a shrink to analyze my dreams. She says it's like a sex that's bringing me down.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, again, we'll talk more, I'm sure, about it as we go through the weekend. But I think hopefully there's some finality for everybody in it.
Aaron Rodgers traded from the Packers to the Jets. That's right. It's finally happened. He gets traded, a pick swap as the Packers goes from 15 to 13. They get number 42 overall in this year's draft. That's second rounder, and a conditional that goes from a 2 to a 1 in the 2024 draft if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps in New York. Now, we had somebody call in and say it was the greatest day since Bucks in 6. Ryan in Phoenix says that's an unbelievably stupid comment. Why can't we be excited about love but also sad about the end of an era? Rodgers gave Green Bay 18 years of winning football. Meanwhile, Rob in Mucktown says MVPs mean nothing for the Packers, and if he's so great, he would have been fine with the young wide receivers. MVPs do mean something for the Packers because the last 2 times they've won the Super Bowl, they've had an MVP, and the time before that was the 1960s. So I feel like MVPs correlate pretty consistently with Super Bowl wins, but we got a lot of Scouts and Breast family members to get through. We want your reaction. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Bruce in Madison. Bruce, thanks for hanging on. Welcome into Scalzo and Breast. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. Hope you're doing well.
You as well.
I think Mark was by far the funniest caller so far. I really did enjoy that. That was pretty hilarious. Bucks and 6, yeah. But I will say, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we can look back at this. I think they expected Aaron Rodgers to throw the entire team on his back, and he pretty much told them he would, and then didn't. I think he was a great player. I think he's still a great player. Thank him for all the wonderful times. But, and here's those ifs and buts, he didn't score any points the last few times in these playoff games. The defense held their end of the bargain. When we went back, when we played San Francisco, we got blown out. They ran for a record number of yards. They scored lots of points. We didn't win because of our defense. Then our defense came along, played well, and Aaron Rodgers couldn't score any points. He didn't like any of the receivers he had. Now, he also crippled the team, and the team crippled themselves by giving out a $160 million contract for 3 years and not being able to bring in any other good players. They brought in some pretty good, I think, in my opinion, some pretty good lower-level free agents, but last year wasn't one of them. They brought in some tight ends and tried to bring in some guys. Jimmy Graham didn't play well for him, but he played well for other teams. So it's not as if they haven't tried, but they really expected Aaron Rodgers to keep his level of play where it was, and he simply didn't.
So thank you for the call. No, thank you, Bruce. That's great stuff. I don't agree with it entirely. I think there's strong narratives of just, hey, he stunk these last couple of years. Like, you look back, you said in 2019 that was the defense's fault. And then, so we're talking about 2 years worth of playoff games, and we're talking about 3 of them. He put up 32 points in a win over the Rams in 2020, then put up 26 points in a loss against the Buccaneers, 31-26 at Lambeau.
That means the Packers gave up 31 at home against the Bucs in that loss. Now, I know there was interceptions, 3 of them in the second half, but let's not act like they were world beaters.
And obviously we could, yes, all blame Aaron Rodgers and the anemic offense for the 2021 playoff loss.
No arguments across the board.
I get it for 2021 playoffs. I just don't think he had an MVP season in the regular season of 2021, fell off during the playoffs and just never recovered. Like, I just don't believe that to be the case. And yeah, throughout his history, you could probably go back and cherry pick different moments where it was on him or if it was on the team. team or the defense or whatever it is. I just think glossing over it in terms of like, well, he couldn't win once he got to the Final Four is a pretty high bar to have when talking about ridding your franchise of him, especially when you look at the franchise you trade him to, who have never had a quarterback in their history as good as him.
Talk about a high bar. What about our guy Brucey talking about like last year? Aaron was supposed to carry the team. Oh, sounds good. Aaron, you got this. Carry the team. You got it. Like that's not fair at all. What are we doing?
Let's go to Alex in Milwaukee. Alex, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. You know, it's real frustrating as a longtime Packer fan to hear everybody just say they're so happy to get rid of this guy. You know, he gave us everything he had for 17 years. The guy's a Hall of Famer, no question. I just don't get all the hate. You know, is it really just the last couple of years of, oh, maybe he doesn't want to stay, maybe he does? I don't get it.
He's different.
You know, I love the guy. He did so much for us. Won Super Bowl. I get it. You know, should have been more. But you know what? One is a lot more than a lot of other teams have. And if you look at what else is out there, we should have been happy with what we had.
Thank you for
Thank you, Alex in Milwaukee.
Some newer perspective. I think, look, Aaron Rodgers is different. Like he's not your normal quarterback. He goes against a lot of norms, and I think it's rubbed people the wrong way in many aspects. From COVID to ayahuasca to panchakarma to darkness retreats. Like, he does things that are outside the norm, and people are scared of things that they don't understand. And as soon as he stopped becoming, I think, the everyday Wisconsinite relatable, like, you know, we'd like to drink lots of beer and go hunting, and like as soon as he lost that relatability with the Packer fan, I think people started to turn on him a little bit easier.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Teddy in Watertown, welcome into Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got today?
Hey, guys. I would love for Goody to do a patented trade back in the first round and get another first-round pick for next year. Because I think if it kind of hedges his bets a little bit where, you know what, maybe if Love isn't all he's cracked up to be, he can maybe use a couple of those first-rounders to trade up. Or if Love shows a little bit of potential, maybe you move up and you get a Marvin Harrison Jr., or you just get him a whole bunch of weapons in the first round. I think as far as the trade goes, I don't think they could have done any better. I mean, even if they would have done the trade a little bit earlier in the process, I don't think, because I'm considering that second pick's probably going to be a first next year. I mean, as long as Rodgers doesn't break his collarbone, we're probably getting a first out of it. So, I mean, I think it's a second, a first, and a pick swap up to 13. I don't know what they could have done any better. All right, I'll hang up.
Thank you, Teddy in Watertown. Nobody knows if they would have done better. I think they certainly could have put themselves in a better position this offseason, whether it would have just been avoiding the dramatics and the fact that you lost out on any potential free agency or team building to actually happen. Or if you could have gotten more bidders involved, which to me ultimately drives a higher price tag. But I mean, look, from where they were at this point, they benefited greatly from the cold feet of the New York Jets. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN, the number to get into the show. I want to give a quick shout out to American Family Insurance and fam.com to find your local American Family Insurance agent. The Packers drafted Jordan Love in order to have a little insurance, and here they are saying it's time to move on from Aaron Rodgers, and we're taking care of. The best part about American Family is you get to work directly with a local agent so that you will be taken care of no matter what happens to your home. If you're a first-time homeowner getting ready to be a first-time homeowner, they not only help you on the front end with a digital home quoting tool so you can build your own policy, they design policies specifically for you as a first-time homeowner. But the best part about it is when you inevitably have to make a claim, you have an agent there every step of the way. I work with Katie. Anytime I have a question, boom, just call her office, and I'm able to talk to somebody that I know, not talking to a nameless, faceless 800 number, being put on hold left and right. Remember, when you protect both your home and auto with American Family, you can save up to 28%. Back in 2 minutes to talk with you, the Scalzo and Brust family. Aaron Rodgers traded. It is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
We
do have an accident on northbound 794 just as you're going over the Hone Bridge. It is off on the right shoulder. Luckily not causing too many delays, just a little bit of a distraction. Westbound 94 is going to be slow from about 16th Street through the Stadium interchange, so give yourself a little bit of extra time. Once you make it to Mitchell Boulevard, you should be good all the way through the zoo. Southbound 41, that is going to be slow from Wisconsin Avenue all the way down through the zoo interchange onto the bypass where we have some construction going on. Takes out the left lane just before Lincoln Avenue. Once you get to Lincoln, it's wide open all the way into the Hale. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, scattered rain or snow showers, a low of 36. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow showers, mainly early. Minor accumulation is possible with a high of 44. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
At least twice as big
as the one you gave her when you got engaged.
That's the definition of a big anniversary diamond.
Kessler's has lots of ways for you to go twice as big.
We have twice as big diamonds from diamond mines.
These diamonds come from the fiery heart of Mother Earth. And the ones that exist in the world today are all there will ever be.
Kessler's also has twice as big created diamonds.
These diamonds come from the fiery heart of a ball of lightning, a miniature star, inside a plasma chamber. It's a wonder to behold.
Kessler's also has twice as big flickering firelight diamonds.
These natural diamonds flicker with all the warm colors of firelight instead of the cold colors of ice. Flickering firelight diamonds are another wonder to behold.
And all of these twice as big diamonds are for her.
The best wonder to behold of all. Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, go to Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Homer here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
It's a party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
It's a party, baby.
On 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Aaron Rodgers officially a New York Jet. 18 years with the Green Bay Packers, 4 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl trophy.
Give him a round of applause.
He made more money than any other individual in the history of the NFL.
Josh, you boycotting?
Yep.
You really can't even just put your pettiness aside.
Appreciation at all.
Why am I at the appreciation stage? He just got traded. We're jumping steps.
What are you feeling then?
I'm happy. It's over. The Packers got more than I expected. He's gone. He's going to go stink somewhere else. He's going to ruin their team.
You and Mark and Berlin have a lot more in common than I thought.
Josh DiMaggio spewing absolute garbage right now on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. That's what somebody who's severely hurt sounds
bitter.
Like. That's like somebody who's going through a breakup and needs to cope with the denial that they're having and saying hey, I'm going to pretend to be happy about this because they stunk. Meanwhile, on the inside, I think there's a little bit of
Did you hear his tone? I'm happy. He stinks. Get him out of here. I'm happy.
Trucker Mark, welcome into Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. What say you? How are you feeling about this Aaron Rodgers trade?
And thanks for your big-time donation to Gabe's Mac Fund initiative.
You're welcome, guys. I got 5 bullet points I got to try to get through in 90 seconds.
Okay.
My first one is a poll question. Who's more dramatic, Mark and New Berlin or Aaron Rodgers? 2, I'm not happy with losing one of the best skilled players ever. I'm not happy about it, but I am content with the trade. That's number 3. My biggest question is who are we going to get to back up as a quarterback? I think we need to get a veteran that's going to be able to keep things consistent with Love. And 5th thing, I'm looking forward to buying one of you guys or both of you a Michelob at the Q Club Thursday.
Hey, right on. There we
Thanks,
go.
Trucker.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call.
That's cough-worthy.
And Aaron Rodgers, 18 years, bleeding green and gold, doing everything he can to sacrifice and win for his team. Not worth the clap, but you know what? Mick Ultra with Trucker Market Q Club on Thursday night, where we'll be having our draft
I thought
coverage.
Josh just agreed with all of his 5 bullet points. That's why Josh was clapping.
No, he's just Spears there. Speaking of special coverage, make sure you stay tuned here because from 6 to 7, Wildy and Tausch are going to be reacting to the Jordan Love trade. You can catch them on 101.7 The Truth on the radio or on any of the ESPN Wisconsin socials going on at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Beaver Dam. And then they're followed by Brust and Matzik, Ben Brust, Greg Matzik from 7 to 9 p.m. taking in all things Aaron Rodgers.
Always was a night shift guy.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Chad in Madison. Chad, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. Earlier on the show, it was said that today is the best day in Wisconsin sports since the Bucks won an NBA championship. What do you say?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Enough is enough. We didn't get enough for Aaron, but I think we got enough. Enough is enough. My favorite sports day is when Barry Alvarez was going to go to Notre Dame back in the late 90s. I think it was like 96. And Donna Shalala reeled him back in. And the same night, we pulled a draft trade to get Ray Allen for Stephon Marbury.
All right, I like it.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you, Chad in Madison. That was not a sporting event since Bucks won the NBA championship. Still a great day in Wisconsin sports, and it does make me think, like, whoever said that before, it was Zachariah, I forget who it was.
Christoph?
Was it? No,
Oh,
Christoph
no,
was
that's
different.
different.
It was somebody who called in and said that this is the best day in Wisconsin sports since Bucks and 6, but you mentioning Barry Alvarez makes me think, no, Luke Fickell? Bill Longo? You know how many great days of Badger football we've had since then?
Gloss over Saturday spring practice, but yeah.
It's practice. We're talking about practice. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Let's go to Jim in Brookfield. Jim, welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got, Jim? Hey,
thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it. I guess I'm on the Josh bandwagon. I guess personally, MVPs don't mean a thing. MVPs mean a thing, which means the most valuable team, which is the one who wins. It's not an individual game. It's a 12 or 11-person offense, 11 defense.
But is it better if one of those 11 is the MVP? Like, is it better if one of them is the MVP?
Ask the Miami Dolphins and Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Give me something the last 20 years. All I've heard about is Jim McMahon and the Bears winning without a great quarterback.
Here
now
comes
you're talking
Trent
about
Dilfer.
Dan Marino in the 80s Dolphins. We can point to it, but let's be honest. The quarterbacks that win, the teams that win the most have MVP quarterbacks. Can we agree on that?
Or MVP type caliber players.
They have MVP quarterbacks. We don't even need to make an exception.
Correct. Patrick Mahomes, has he won an MVP?
Yes.
That's
Peyton
pretty
Manning,
good.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. They're all MVP quarterbacks.
He only won one championship, though, Greg.
I know he did, but he won 4 freaking MVPs. And you know what? He won 1 championship. Do you want to know how many teams over the last 15 years when he was starting didn't win a championship? A lot.
I was hoping you had the number. I was ready to be mind blown.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Andy and Grafton. Andy, welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got, Andy?
Well, let's not give good introductions unless they're on our team.
Can we get over this narrative that the Packers don't have or don't sign good players in the offseason? We have the highest paid left tackle in the league, right? We had, at the time, the highest paid cornerback in the league. We brought in Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, and drafted Rashawn Gary, who, if he didn't get hurt, was on pace to maybe compete for Defensive Player of the Year. The year after, we gave up 30 points at home against Tampa Bay. What did we do? Fellas? We brought in 2 first-team All-Pro players. Rasul Douglas and Devondre Campbell.
Lee.
You can call it what it is that they were practice squad players, but what did they turn into? They were first-team All-Pros. So then what did you have to do? You had to re-sign them because when was the last time that the Green Bay Packers had a middle linebacker that was first-team All-Pro? Never.
You don't have to do anything.
So you have to re-sign the players that you already have. So when you make this point that Aaron Rodgers and be honest with you, he's worth every penny that the Packers ever paid him. But in that same thing, he's not providing the Green Bay Packers with the value if they're paying him that much. Because
hey dummy, hey Andy, hey dummy, how the heck did he not?
For the call.
2 of the last 3 years, the guy won the freaking MVP. Like, are we seriously? Yes, last year he didn't deliver on the value that he was being paid. No crap, nobody in the Packers did. Devondre Campbell didn't, Jair Alexander didn't, David Bakhtiari didn't. They stunk. The whole team stunk. The coach stunk. The GM stunk. It was a bad year. But stop coming in here and acting like Aaron Rodgers has been trashed the last 4 years. Do I think that he should have won more in his career? Yes. Do I think there was a couple of playoffs where he choked? Yes. Do I still think he's probably the best quarterback in the history of the franchise? Yes. Like, what are we doing here where we're acting like the guy was garbage these last 3 years? He won MVP, meaning he was the best player in football 2 of the last 3 years. So please, if you're going to make a point, you can make a point that he hasn't done enough in the playoffs. You can make a lot of points. But the idea that he's trash and that he turns the ball over and doesn't need to know how to get first downs and he hasn't delivered,
We did hear that one.
And he doesn't deliver on his value as the highest paid player in the league, like, come at us with some reasonable, intelligent conversation here, please. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776.
Got to give a shout out to my great friends at Road Americas because if you're looking for some good family fun, Greg, you got a kid 16 and under, free, baby. 9 races from vintage to NASCAR. I'll be at the NTT IndyCar Series in June. It doesn't get any better than the 4-mile racetrack, the largest in North America. That's Road America, baby. I'll see you there. Tons of family fun. Inside camping.
Vroom, vroom.
Free admission for kids 16 and under. Free parking. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Be there.
Kyle in Pewaukee raises an interesting question. For those who are so elated Aaron Rodgers is gone, if Giannis ends up winning only 1 championship with the Bucks, moves on to another city late in his career when his contract expires, will they hate Giannis for only 1 championship? Will we call him a choker in the playoffs?
No.
800-990-ESPN, 800
It's a personal. It is a personal vendetta.
But you know what? I'm okay with Josh thinking he's a douche. I'm not okay with whoever that was calling in here and being like,
Yeah.
he's been paid so much in his career, he hasn't lived up to the value.
And I guess what? If he would have called in,
he can't get first downs. He turns the ball over too much. Like, what?
If he would have called in and said, you know what? I'm happy he's gone because I can't stand him. He's bothered the hell out of me. That would have made more sense than what he said.
Stay on the line if you're there. We want to talk to all of you. 800-990-ESPN. It is
We're very
Calcio and
inclusive,
Brust,
we swear.
presented by Michelob Ultra.
Breaking Packers news on 94.5 ESPN. Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets. For all the latest on Aaron Rodgers, keep it locked right here. 94.5 ESPN.
Traffic is sponsored by the Harley-Davidson Museum. Celebrate Bike Night on May 4th with a factory shop sale of up to 70% off. Visit hdmuseum.com for a full schedule of events and tickets.
We've got an accident northbound on 41, right about at Blue Mound Road on the right shoulder. Just watch out for that. Really not slowing down too much heading past that scene. Just something to keep in mind. We also have in Ozaukee County, just north of Highland, the right lane blocked with some debris in the roadway. So watch out for those delays. Otherwise, your usual stuff between the Marquette and the zoo in either direction as far as any kind of delays. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, scattered rain and snow showers with a low of 36. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow showers mainly early. Minor accumulation is possible with a high of 44. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's a Brewers game day on 94.5 ESPN. Tonight, the Crew looks to tame the Tigers in interleague action at AmFam Field.
Pitch. Telez, a drive out to right center field. Racing back is Hernandez. That ball is gone.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6:05, and stick around after the game for Brewers Extra Innings.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
A wide array of opportunities abound at Waste Management.
I was a banker for 20 years, and I knew absolutely nothing about waste. Now I'm an account manager, which happens to be my 7th position within the corporation. Because Waste Management invests so much time into your career, they want you to succeed. They want you to learn and inspire to be something greater.
Join the Waste Management family. Just search online, Waste Management Careers.
Even when you think you know what's going on,
Although if the beer has head, you have to wait. You stick your finger in a little slime from your nose and whatnot. But
you can never be too sure.
why is he leaving again?
Well, because
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
Stuff the thing and get it like hard. It's just
so you know, Ashton almost made it back into the production office.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra, official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
He'll tell you how much that's worth and things like that. Really, I have no idea until I know who's on the clock when we're picking, right? So we'll see. But if I were to do that, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be doing it because I thought it was important.
That Brian Gutekunst talking with the media earlier today, and over the draft weekend, I can tell you what I'll be doing. I'll be drinking lots of water, Joe, and that's what the front office should be doing too, because it's water with that work ethic. Simply water with caffeine, healthy and clean energy, 85 milligrams of caffeine, which is similar to a soda, maybe an energy drink. And if you look at those are horrible for you. Don't do it. Pick up Water Joe at any of your favorite local retailers. Been getting me through my weeks, my days, my months, baby.
He is Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh DiMaggio running the show. We are presented by Michelob Ultra. Aaron Rodgers traded today to the New York Jets, finally. And I don't understand what the delay was all the last, 41, 42 days? Because
40 exactly.
40 days exactly. For them to just arrive at a point where it felt like we were just circling the drain the whole time on this, and to not at least wait until it was closer to the draft, like, if you told me this was it, even Thursday, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But on Monday, like, it just seems like a bizarre time for it to all get done on a Monday afternoon.
But doesn't it help both organizations now knowing where they are in the first round versus like
maybe? But I have a feeling from all the reporting, all that was figured out. they knew that one of those twos was going to go and probably knew it was going to be 42. I'm sure they had the pick swap discussed, and it was kind of down to this conditional level of what the 2024 draft pick was, which is now a 2 that can turn into a 1 if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. So, like, it's just kind of odd to me that it would be like this, but who knows? Maybe the pick swap was something that they wanted to discuss and get organized on, and or maybe it was just Woody Johnson saying, I want it done today, and the Jets just took the best deal they could from the Packers at the time, because that's kind of what it feels like a little bit.
Nothing from a compensation standpoint was going to change. Like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I mean, we knew they re-engaged. Maybe there's a small compromise here or there, and maybe the 5th to the 6th, because there was a 6th coming to the Packers and a 5th going to the Jets. Like, you never know which one of those little things makes one of the groups feel like they won, even though, again, I think winner and loser comes down to, is Jordan Love great, and how well does Aaron Rodgers play in 2023? 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We want to hear from you, the Scalzo and Russ family. Do the Packers get enough? What are your overall feelings on the trade? Let's start with Greg in Green Bay. Greg, welcome to Scalzo and Russ. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got?
You guys got Ben fired up. I like that.
That was old Gregory. I usually get fired up, but that was Gregory today.
I'm good. My thing with Aaron, and I enjoyed the 18 years, the last few years, was accountability. I mean, he played terrible, I thought, in the playoffs. The San Francisco game where I was there did not give up a defensive touchdown, and we still lose 13-10. And we would have went on and beat the Rams and went to the Super Bowl and played the Patriots. But my thing was accountability. You know, a guy that doesn't get along with his family, you know, he's just a different cat, you know. And then looking forward, Goody's on the clock. What can he do? Because you don't have Aaron Rodgers to carry anymore. And then who are new team leaders going to be? Who's it going to be? It's not going to be the Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I think this will bring the team closer together. And, Ben, you can probably relate to this. In your years with the Badgers, I mean, I think it's going to bring the Packers closer together.
Thank you for the call, Greg in Green Bay.
If we want to talk real quick on the opportunity the Packers have from a leadership standpoint, it has nothing to do with anything that ever happened with me and the Badgers. It has everything to do with Aaron Rodgers was the identity for the last 4 years of Matt LaFleur's existence as the Green Bay Packers head coach. This is an opportunity for Matt LaFleur to finally have a voice and insert it and grow a culture that he wants, because he was really dictated by whatever Aaron Rodgers wanted.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Jared in the car says, I'm pumped for Rodgers to play for a team and city that wants him. He has no respect here for a few years, it feels. We also have 414 saying, today should be centered around compensation, not how we feel that Rodgers is traded. The time for that was 6 weeks ago. In my opinion, you got the same for him that you also got last year for a premier wide receiver in his prime. That's a great deal. Let's go to Patrick in Minneapolis. Patrick, welcome to Scalzo and Bruss. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What say you?
Wow, well, that last caller, I'm fired up now. Taking shots at Rodgers' family drama, that's a whack take. He can't pretend to know anything about the internal affairs of Rodgers' family. But I'll leave that aside. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed by many callers' inability to see or understand nuance and complexity. I do get the desire to, see things in black and white terms, but that's not often how the truth operates. Truth is muddy and complicated. To understand the truth of the Rodgers era in Green Bay, you have to take the totality of the situation in mind, the good with the bad. You've got to take the role of the offense and the defense and the special teams, as well as who's lined up on the other side of the ball. You got to take the personnel and their paychecks, as well as the scheme. You got to take the guys on the field and on the sidelines and in the front office. So in that spirit, all of the above are responsible for the Packers only having one Super Bowl in the Rodgers era. Reasonable minds, can disagree, but you can't reasonably argue that it's all on Rodgers. And if you do, I suspect, this is my opinion, I suspect it has something more to do with your own story and ego than with anything about Rodgers himself. And so say what you want about darkness retreats and ayahuasca, but at least the man is willing to look within. And I dare say we could all benefit from doing that ourselves.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call, Patrick in Minneapolis. Well done. Josh DiMaggio, for the record, I get to watch the time. Anytime it's someone he disagrees with, it's 90 seconds
right away.
on the dot. And anytime he's okay with, he's like, you know.
This guy a lecture
It goes to a couple of minutes, and, it's fine.
Gosh, that was eloquently put.
Yeah, it was. Joshy, what say you?
I don't know. I fell asleep during that call. It bored me to death.
Josh from,
Dr. Nuance.
Josh from Heartland said, did Ben Bruss leaving UW bring the Badgers closer together, and that's what elevated them to reach the national championship?
Ouch, kabibble.
It was a joke. Your face just read like he was being serious.
Out of control. Everyone knows that.
But it's true.
What's the reference?
There's nobody on earth saying ouch kabibble in 2023.
Do you know the reference?
No, what's the
reference? Joshy, do you know the
Is
reference?
it Austin Powers?
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Carl in Florida, welcome to Scalzo and Ross. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. What do you got, Carl? Carl with a K.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Aaron, but then I want to do this because I'm on vacation. I don't know if you could hear that on the radio. That was a beer. On to the next chapter.
Cool. You're on to the next. Are you excited for the Jordan Love era? No? Did you just...
That was an accident. They're above rate each other.
You're still here, Carl.
It's not that I am excited. Look, I love what Rodgers did for us, and everybody's talking about how bad we're going to be, all this other kind of stuff. But what if? Here's the what if. What if Jordan Love is a top 75% quarterback? I've been drinking since 8 o'clock this morning because I'm on vacation. I go back tomorrow. So anyway, but that's my question. What if? I think we got enough for Aaron. Let Aaron go and do what he wants to do. I have no ill will against Aaron. He did great things. But I didn't like the end of this season. 3 or 4 times you'd see him looking at the sideline saying, what are we doing? There were some words involved there too, but that tells me somebody's checked out. Let Aaron go do what he wants to do. I hope Love is great. I hope he's a top 75% quarterback. But let it go. Because you know why? If Love is good, Bears fans are really, really going to hate it.
Thank you for the call, Carl in Florida. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Packers fans absorb this next era with Jordan Love at the helm. And if he's great, then this team will be great. But the best part about sports is that we're going to get to see it all play out in the field. There's no hiding. There's no, this person. We're going to see it all play out in the field, and we're going to see what this Green Bay Packers team with Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur looks like moving forward.
I like 8-beer Michelob Ultra guy on vacation.
Carl in Florida. That's a good call.
Jonathan Bruss called in.
Oh, no.
For some reason, he felt threatened by Carl cracking beers. And he said he gets more sex than this guy drinking beer in Florida, and then hung up and just left. So he wants it on the record.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to JB. Jason Wilde joins us next to help us break down all things Aaron Rodgers trade. That's coming up next. This is Scalzo and Russ live, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Breaking Packers news on 94.5 ESPN. The Packers are sending Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. Don't touch that dial. It's all Packers and Rodgers talk right here. 94.5 ESPN.
Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Play Whistling Straits and other Pro Tour courses, whatever the weather is, in one of their 12 state-of-the-art simulators.
Looks like things are moving along relatively well out on the roads. We've got one broken down vehicle on Highway 175 southbound just past Canal Street. So that would be Brewers Boulevard, off on the right shoulder. A little bit backed up westbound 94 out of the Marquette heading into the stadium interchange. Southbound on 41 is going to be slow through the construction zone between the Zoo interchange and Lincoln Avenue. Southbound on 43, your usual delays from just north of Silver Spring all the way down to about Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, scattered rain and snow showers, a low of 36. Tomorrow, a chance of rain or snow showers, mainly early. Minor accumulation is possible with a high of 44. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Jason Fitz.
God, I love saying I told you so. Almost as much as I love saying I was right. I don't get to say it very often, so let me toot toot
toot my own horn for a second. I told you the NBA had no choice but to suspend Draymond Green for a game. And what did they do? They suspended him. This was wildly predictable because, see, Adam Silver can't care about the fact that it was a playoff game. Adam Silver can't care about the fact that this will change a playoff series. Adam Silver can't care about the context of anything that's coming without at least factoring in the context of what happened. I don't believe Draymond was actually suspended for the stomp. I believe Draymond was suspended, as I said on Fitz and Harry before anybody else. I believe he was suspended for one simple reason. After being ejected, he decided to treat the moment like a WWE event, riling up the crowd, saying things you probably don't want to say when you're within earshot of the commissioner of the NBA, and then going to your press conference and instead of saying, man, my bad, I just got to be better in that moment, instead of taking any opportunity to take some blame in it, instead coming out and saying, well, I'm just not that flexible. Draymond created this situation, not the NBA. In 60 seconds, more on the Warriors.
Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially since you're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening that self-awareness, because sometimes you don't know what you really want until you talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. Visit betterhelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/score.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $37.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com. Get in zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
So now what? Because realistically, if I believe, as I do, that the suspension isn't just from the stomp, it's from everything else, and the NBA's made it clear it's the body of work that got us here, now Draymond specifically has to adjust. The problem is he's given us no proof of concept that that's something he's capable of. He's given us no indication that he's willing to back down from who he is, even if he knows what could be coming. This was a very specific example of an avoidable moment by a player that simply needed to get control of his emotion. The Warriors now can't trust Draymond to do that, ever. And if you can't trust him, how can you continue to put him on the court with your team? That is the most interesting part of all of this. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Jason Fitz.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
To get to you. So tell me now, do you want it? 'Cause these dancing feet don't cry to the rhythm they cry for you.
I get a sense you're going to hear a lot of Jason Wilde as he gets ready to join us right now. Of course, you hear him every day, 9 to noon, across these very stations. On Wilde and Tausch alongside Packer Hall of Famer Mark Tausch. You read him at The Athletic as well as the Wisconsin State Journal. You'll hear him and Tausch together at 6 o'clock coming up on 101.7 The Truth in Milwaukee and streaming live across all the ESPN Wisconsin social accounts. And I'm sure pretty much every show tomorrow because Aaron Rodgers just finally got traded to the New York Jets. The Packers in return got a pick swap. They get 13 in the first round. They also got number 42 overall in this year's draft and a conditional second-round pick in the 2024 NFL draft that turns into a first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of snaps for the Jets in this upcoming season. Jason, we're going to have to say that a lot to keep reminding people what the compensation is, but what was your first impression when you saw the deal finally come through in terms of what was given up in return for Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, my first thought was, oh, crap, I'm going to have to listen to Tausch talk about how they did the pick swap.
Same with Josh.
I feel like he called in a special favor just to make the pick swap happen.
No, I think Tausch and I spent a lot of time talking about this morning, not knowing that it was going to come together this afternoon the way it did. But I think what they did was fair. I mean, Tausch had talked about the pick swap a lot. I think that certainly is a sweetener. You can get a player at 13 that wouldn't have been there at 15. I mean, it's just simple simple arithmetic. I also thought all along that the Jets were not going to be able to get the Packers to give them some sort of 2025 draft pick that was, oh, sorry, we traded you a guy who only played for you 1 year. I never thought that. I thought that was always an ask by the Jets that was something that they could then say, all right, we'll take that off the table during negotiations and when compromising. And then, I've been saying this for weeks. I don't mean that as a victory lap. I'm just saying it made complete sense. They had to change the parameters of what it was going to take for that second-round pick in 2024 to become a first-round pick. I thought that was a no-brainer. I thought the reports, and I'm not disputing the reports, since one of them came from the godfather of one of my daughters, but the idea of the Jets having to reach the AFC Championship game in order for that 2024 second-round pick to become a first-round pick, I never thought that they could stay on that position and get the deal done. I always thought that they would have to move. I also found it odd that they were tying it to team success. I thought, if you're really worried about Rodgers being almost 40 years old and getting hurt, then tie it to the snaps that he plays. And that's exactly what happened. So now the Jets don't even have to make the playoffs for the Packers to get their first-round pick. All that has to happen is Aaron Rodgers has to play 65% of their snaps. So if he suffers a catastrophic injury in week 4, Packers are getting a second-round pick, and the Jets ain't getting much for what they traded to get Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers won't be playing the rest of the season. They've protected themselves. I thought this was a very fair compromise. I don't think anybody necessarily wins or loses this trade. I think both sides got what they wanted and paid a fair price to get it.
Jason, what did you make of Goody's presser?
Well, I thought I asked some pretty pointed questions, politely. Look, I understand the things he has to say. I'm not a nincompoop here. I'm not stupid. I get it. You can't say that you're rebuilding. But are you kidding me? You traded away 2 Hall of Fame players, and I'm not calling them Hall of Fame players. Brian Gutekunst called them Hall of Fame players in successive off seasons. You have no wide receivers on your roster currently that were on the team a year ago at this time. You have no wide receivers on your team right now that have played more than 1 NFL season in their careers. You have 4 tight ends, 2 guys that, quite frankly, I couldn't name until I did my tight end preview a few days ago in the State Journal. You have no one at safety. You are not bringing back, it would appear, your veteran kicker. You need help on the defensive line. You have 1 proven, really productive edge rusher who is coming back from an ACL. How are you not rebuilding? Now, is it possible to go 9-8 and make the playoffs in a weak NFC? Sure. But, oh, by the way, you're going to do it with a first-time starter who has started 1 career game that counted in the NFL. So I understand he has to say that they don't look at it that way. Your left tackle looks at it that way. And if your former right tackle, Mark Tauscher, doesn't think you're rebuilding, that's fine. But I think you are. And the one thing that I wanted to get asked today, more than anything, was, look, I know I take a lot of grief for my relationship with Rodgers and a bunch of crap that I don't think I have deserved over the years. I think I see both his good qualities and his bad ones pretty damn well. And I know what a pain in the ass he can be. So I never questioned that he would be difficult to work with or a difficult guy to have on your team. But I wanted to ask Brian Gutekunst about what he said during the bye week, when he said the moment he walked into the building, he was taught that whatever comes with having a great quarterback, it's worth it. And I think he reached the point where he really didn't think it was worth it anymore. The fact that they never talked at any point during this process, the guy who wanted direct communication from the general manager and then wasn't at any point talking to him through this process. I don't think the outcome's necessarily different, but I just think Goody got sick of his you-know-what, and he's ready for his guy that he picked, and he's willing to take the risk that it won't work out, and they've taken their franchise back from a guy that I don't think Brian Gutekunst ever really liked and is glad to have off their roster.
Talking with Jason Wilde here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin. Once again, Jason and Mark Tauscher. Wilde and Tauscher are going to be on 101.7 The Truth here in Milwaukee from 6 to 7, followed by Ben Brust and Greg Matzik reacting to all things Aaron Rodgers trade. You can catch both those shows as well streaming live on our ESPN Wisconsin social handles. Jason, we've been hearing a lot from the fans out there, the Scalzo and Brust family, and I continue to be in awe in terms of how anti-Aaron Rodgers the fan base is. Not only in terms of him off of the field, which we hear plenty, pointing to his relationship with his family, the immunization comments, the looks at the coach, we hear plenty of that, but even to the point where it seems like fans are rewriting history about how he's been somebody who hasn't deserved his contract over the years, about how he can't throw for first downs and has too many turnovers. Like, what is that complex for fans right now who have valiantly defended Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady and the other great quarterbacks in the league for the last, maybe 13 of the last 15 years, now turning on their own? Like, what is that? You've been through this before with Favre, but it didn't seem this visceral. What is it about Aaron Rodgers that's causing fans to react this way?
Yeah, I don't know, Greg. I'm not going to speak for fans. I would say that if I was trying to diagnose it, look, there's a lot of stuff that I don't blame anybody for being sick of. I had my own differences with him. We've reconciled some of them we haven't. I would guess, what's that old saying about even the prettiest girl? Somewhere there's some guy that's tired of her crap.
Dating her, yes.
Yeah. I would say, and again, I don't know. I'm not trying to speak for fans. I'm trying to diagnose why some might say what they're saying. I think part of it is this is what happens in a breakup, right? Like, we've all had breakups, whether we initiated them or had them initiated on us. And you go through the 5 stages of grief, like Elizabeth Kubler-Ross taught us about death and any other loss. And I think part of it, at some point, you're like, well, she wasn't that pretty, or she wasn't that smart, or whatever you want to point out you didn't necessarily like about her after she's gone. And that's a little bit how this feels to me. Like, it's really hard right now to think about all the good stuff that happened during his time. And I get the sense that there are a lot of people that are really, really happy he's gone. And I've said many times during this process to be careful what you wish for. And it's not even so much about how they don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore, because I'm not convinced. I don't think they win the Super Bowl in 2023 with him at quarterback either. From a football perspective, I'm a doubter on how good Jordan Love's going to be. I hope he does well. He's a really good kid. I just think that the level of rejoicing that there has been, this ding-dong, the wicked hippie weirdo is dead, or at least his career with the Packers is dead, reaction, I have not understood. And again, it's not my job to understand that. I am not a fan. That is not my job. And it's not my job to tell fans how to feel. I am speaking for me, and I don't understand it. There is way more rejoicing today, but there has been for weeks than I would have ever anticipated, and I don't get it. But you get to feel however you want to feel as a fan. If you want to be sad that this era is over, if you want to be skeptical that Jordan Love's going to be good, or if you want to be excited and ecstatic that they got rid of Aaron Rodgers, you get to feel that way. I just can't. It's unfathomable to me the level of joy some people are feeling because they don't like the guy. And again, I don't know how this is all going to work out, but I will be very curious, good or bad, what those same people are admitting to feeling today and what they're saying a year from now.
Jason, great stuff. Once again, Wilde and Tausch, a special Aaron Rodgers trade edition, 6 to 7 p.m. You can catch that 101.7 The Truth in Milwaukee, as well as streaming live on the ESPN Wisconsin socials at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Beaver Dam. Thank you, Jason. We'll talk to you, I'm sure, sometime even this week. Who knows?
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon across these very stations.
What a time for a three-finger pour of Cedar Ridge Distillery's 86 bourbon, or their quintessential, which is amazing. The Scalzo and Brust Private Barrel Bourbon and Rye Whiskeys at Discount Liquor in Waukesha and Milwaukee, also at Madison's and Steve's Liquor at Buck and Honey's. You can learn more at cedarridgedistillery.com, but it's grain to glass, baby. Cedar Ridge, from every step of the process, is going to make you a very, very delicious bourbon or whiskey, and now that single malt is one of the highest awarded of 2022. Get that right here in the state of Wisconsin. Growing a home, making a home. That's what I've done living in this state. That's what the Iowa Cedar Ridge Distillery is doing as well. Check it out. It's delicious.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Aaron Rodgers traded. Giannis playing. Brewers back in action as well. It is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Breaking Packers news on 94.5 ESPN. The Packers are trading their four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. For all the latest on Aaron Rodgers, keep it locked right here.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Dylan Brooks has made a name for himself, but when you chirp like that and your stat line is 7 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 23% shooting from the field, and 1 ejection.
But what I tell you last week,
What
though,
you gonna
Jay,
do?
The first thing I said, LeBron ain't got to say nothing to that dude, man. Come on. I don't even need to have a conversation about you at all. Everybody knows what you are. Everybody knows what I am at the end of the day. Usually, though, Jay, guys like Dylan Brooks, they game really don't match their mouth, no matter what sport it is. Dudes that just be like acting like that, they don't really get down that way. But he also, he got caught up, though, Jay. So when you get caught up, you going against LeBron James, so you getting caught up. You now thought that you was psychologically getting ready to fake him out, but you done faked yourself out by doing what you did the last game.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Over the past year, we've been hard at work improving our sales processes, expanding and remodeling our facilities, investing in new technology, and continuing our commitment to serve our customers, employees, and community. That's why at Boucher, when our customers leave the dealership, we hope we've made a customer for life. Whether you're in need of a new vehicle, are stopping in for routine maintenance, or are in need of collision work, we will be here to help. With 20 locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin and 30 brands, we've got thousands of new and used vehicles for you to choose from. Our dedicated employees have been named a 2022 top workplace for the past 11 years, and we always have been and will continue to be family-owned and operated. Proud to be your Wisconsin family dealership group since 1977. Visit us today at Boucher.com.
Tuesday, a special edition of On the Tee. We are going to have Greg Matzik on the show, as Greg, myself, Gabe Neitzel, and Stephen Watson all playing in the Ringer event to support the MAC Fund coming up on Thursday. Plus, we start getting ready for the U.S. Senior Open up at Century World as Steve Marino, the director of competition for the U.S. Senior Open, going to be joining us Tuesday on the Tee. It all starts 6 p.m., 94.5 ESPN.
Presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. On the Tee with Gabe and Steven. Tuesday night at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN.
A big storm brewing? Don't miss it. It's Thursday Thunder this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You could win a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your club card April 1st through the 27th, and you could be one of 50 winners each Thursday. Showers might bring flowers, but Thunder brings the boom. Only at Potawatomi. More info at paysbig.com/thunder. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra, official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I think where our team is at. Obviously, Aaron's up there in age and has I don't know however many years he has. I think he's got some really good football left in him. But I think for us, it was just as we got through the offseason and started talking about where we wanted to go. This made a little bit of sense for us. We wanted to get his input, like I've told you guys in the past, and would have loved to have that and kind of see where he sat with that. That didn't happen. That was a little bit unfortunate and disappointing for me. But at the same time, I just think as we move forward, we're really excited where Jordan can go. He needs to play.
He does indeed need to play. The drafting of Jordan Love back in 2019, setting the course of the franchise. Since then, Aaron Rodgers interrupted it for a couple years after winning back-to-back MVPs and establishing himself as a four-time NFL MVP, getting the number one seed in the NFC in back-to-back years. But the playoff failures there certainly affecting the way that people talk about him now today, and led to the trade that actually was completed hours ago. Aaron Rodgers traded to the New York Jets. A pick swap in round one means that the Packers now have pick 13. The Jets get pick 15. The Packers also receiving a second-round pick number 42, meaning the Packers in the draft coming up on Thursday have 13, 42, and 45, 3 picks in the top 50. They also get a conditional second-round pick in the 2024 draft that turns into a first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. If you want any more info on that trade, you could look it up yourself. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio, 800-990-ESPN. The text line is full. A ton of great calls. Stay tuned. You can turn it over to 101.7 The Truth if you want to hear more Aaron Rodgers conversation, or stream live on Twitter at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. I do need to give a quick shout out to the real MVP. The real MVP.
MVW?
MVGD.
Yeah.
Most valuable, Gina Della from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Award-winning, innovative team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Trust me, I've used them, and I've never been happier with anybody that's worked on my house. They replaced the windows and doors on my old place. They busted out some windows, put in these beautiful patio doors in my new home, and they've got all of the innovations. Easy slide horizontal windows where you got tons of natural light and unobstructed views. Premium roll screens where those screen rolls out of sight when you close the window, but it's there when you open it up. Plus the Pella Reserve Series patio door placed anywhere with custom sizes and colors. Plus, get your order in by April 30th. You get 0% financing for 48 months, so don't waste any time. 0% financing for 4 years. Go to PellaWI.com/radio. That's PellaWI.com/radio. Chef Ed gets it. He says, congrats to Tausch on the pick swap.
No, nobody's happy about that.
I'm happy about that. You don't feel good at all for Tausch?
I mean, it's good. It's good to call your own shot and have it hit.
It's the one thing he's been talking about throughout this entire trade scenario. He just wanted to pick.
He's wrong a lot too, so let's give him this one.
That is true. Chef Ed chimes in and says, I can't forget what Aaron Rodgers has done for the Pack, but it's the Janet Jackson syndrome. What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? Well, Brian Gutekunst, you're going to be asked that question quite a lot from Packer fans coming up.
Hugh in Waukesha says, in my opinion, no one under 40 can be happy that 12 is gone. Will Love be good? Will we compete for a division title every year? Or is this the return of Scott Hunter, David Whitehurst, and Jim Delgazio? Hugh in Waukesha raising a valiant point for all of the Josh DiMaggio defenders out there saying, hey, did you live through the 70s and 80s with the Green Bay Packers?
We might be living in it now, folks. Couple of quotes that I wrote down from the day. Nathaniel in Madison, this is the best sports day since Bucks in 6. Dale in Partyville, no, this one wasn't Dale. This one was Christoph. Excited to see Jordan Love. I think he's going to be okay. Another one, I hope Love is great. Is there anything in there that talks about something tangible, something that like we know? No, what we did know is Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Hall of Famer. What we did know is Aaron Rodgers elevated the team to 2 number 1 seeds in the NFC playoffs. That didn't get done. I understand that. But those are things we know. We are entering an era of unknown with Jordan Love. Goody's ass is on it, and if Jordan Love ain't good, we're not going to see Goody. We're not going to see Matt LaFleur. So good luck, Jordan Love. I'm wishing you the best, but this is just a message to everyone who's celebrating Aaron Rodgers. And Jason echoed it. Be careful what you wish for.
I just want to say something I think everyone's thinking.
Daniel,
you guys don't wish Jordan Love the best.
ESPN
That's not real.
800-990-3776. Say it again, Josh.
You guys don't wish Aaron Rodgers the best. That's fraudulent. You guys are saying that because
You
you
don't
to.
wish Aaron Rodgers the best?
Jordan Love.
Oh, yeah.
You guys aren't wishing Jordan Love the best.
I've said
You're not
nothing
rooting for him.
but high-quality things
Me
about
and
him as
everyone
a
else can hear
person,
it.
as a character, high-character guy. I want him to be successful. I just
buying
think that you are gambling
Your tone
a little
really
bit.
is
Not buying
trustworthy.
it. At least I'm honest.
You're the last thing. You're the least honest amongst all of us.
And that's saying a lot because I have been.
How am I the least honest?
Coming up next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, you get Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Coming up on 100.5 ESPN Madison and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, you get Bucks playoff basketball, and you can keep listening to Packers on 101.7 The Truth in Milwaukee and streaming across the ESPN Wisconsin social handles. That was a mouthful.
Ben has a lie counter.
We are seeing a little bit of a